Software used to last years. In fact, it was so expensive to make it that it had to last years.
Here we see the software developer in its natural habitat. It takes many of them working tirelessly to make even the simplest thing. And this is one of the many reasons software is so very expensive.
Now AI lets you spin up software that you use once and then you throw it away. We've entered the age of disposable software. Build it! Use it! Lose it! You don't need to wait for developers anymore. Right now, you can build your own software using AI tools for yourself in minutes. A quick game to play on your phone? Easy. A crisis simulator that responds to your actions in real time? Simple. Are you sick of the Duolingo L? How about experiences tailored for your exact needs with a 10-word prompt? That is now what's possible. So forget SaaS subscriptions, a service as a software, or clunky apps. AI can now spin up lightweight, disposable software that works exactly how you want. Some of these tools can be personal, you may never share them around, but others, they could become the next startup. And that's where things get interesting, because what does this mean for the app ecosystem as we know it? Today, we're going to talk through real examples of AI-generated personal software, things that are built using a single prompt and a $20 subscription, why they matter, and what this shift means, not just for SaaS platforms, but what this unfurling of software cost means for how we play, learn, and work. By the end, you'll see why this moment feels less like a trend and more like the start of a brand new computing era. Nick, any qualms or issues in your life that you feel disposable software, like an experience like that, may remedy?
Yeah, I am spending far too much on different AIs at the moment. So I need me an expense tracker app, right? Like, I mean, just and you know, I don't want something that's just going to give me like spreadsheets and CSVs and everything else, just insane degrees of accuracy. I just need to know, am I spending too much on AI or coffee or pints? Like, I mean, this month, I just need something that texts me, right? When I've just hit that arbitrary limit, like there's too much of a good thing. What about like energy vampire type meetings, you know what I mean? A meeting energy calculator that tracks how I feel after how productive or happy I am after different types of calls, actually learns which meeting formats work for my brain, right? Then you got your justification. This should have been an email, you know, because there's no existing productivity app that does this because it's just too personal, too weird, too niche. But yeah, imagine that just flashing up on Outlook. Incoming vampire. You're like, no, thank you. Decline.
I hope that's never a flash that
Never at
you
work.
get when...
Never at work. Never. No, no, no. Of course. It's hypothetical.
I almost believe you. Let's rewind to 1999. Tim Berners-Lee, the guy who literally invented the world, very much was there to support the invention of the World Wide Web. He imagined a future where machines didn't just store our data and use it against us if we look at some of our social media friends, but they understood it, they acted on it, and worked alongside us. He called it the semantic web. In his words, the day-to-day mechanisms of trade, bureaucracy, and our daily lives will be handled by machines, talking to machines. The intelligent agents people have touted for ages will finally materialize. Man, the guy was a bit of a soothsayer, because if you think about what a lot of the marketing material looks like now, it sounds very similar. But let's be honest, that vision never quite happened. And for the last 25 years or so, we've been living in the shadows of it. Instead of intelligent agents, we've got SaaS and monthly subscriptions to read the news, watch TV, edit photos, and much, much more. I'm so sick of paying $9.99 for something. But let's be honest, SaaS has done important work. It took clunky, local software and put it in the cloud. It scaled, it updated itself, it became the backbone of how businesses operate. But there's a catch. SaaS was always application first. Big monolithic portals, APIs, duct taped together, systems designed for compliance, scale, and stability, not really for you, not for the individual. I can't think of the amount of times that I've had to rebuild an entire process or workflow, either personal or professional, around how a piece of software will accept a certain bit of information. And when it comes to the classroom, this creates a lot of hurdles. This made sense in a world where building software was expensive. You build it once, you sell infinitely. Users needed to bend to fit the software. Nick, do you hear me? Do you feel me? Why is everything just a little bit nah? And yet I'm locked into paying $19.99 a month for it.
Yeah, it's that sad, bad kind of it'll do pizza. You know what I mean? Like, I absolutely feel this. We're trapped in the subscription purgatory. Like, everything works just well enough and gets the job done that you just can't justify canceling, but never quite well enough that you're happy, you know? I love that from Tim Berners-Lee, of intelligent agents that adapt to us. I think you're absolutely on point that every app feels designed by committee for the average user, which means it's perfectly average for everyone. I mean, again, expense trackers, 15 different features that I'll never use and missing the one thing that I actually need. So we're paying those subscriptions at $19.99 for the privilege of molding ourselves around software instead of the other way around. And yeah, this sounds really exciting as a chance to actually put the human first, if you like, not in the loop, but not the software, the human.
So we're entering a world where AI can generate software that bends to fit you. Instead of buying a bloated SaaS product, you can ask AI to spin up a lightweight, disposable app. Your own CRM, your own travel buddy, your own productivity board, your own expense tracker, as you mentioned, generate it on the fly. Your style, your unique requirements, your own skins. You can make it steampunk. You can make it vaporware.
So
Now you've got some more specialized options like Vercel, Replit, Bubble, which are creating more robust experiences. They're great tools. They've got things like single sign-on, database integrations. They gave birth to vibe coding. And some of what's come through these platforms from no-coders like me, they're not bad. They're great. But I'll be the first to say they're probably still a bit unapproachable for someone who really can't deploy a .env index file. I just don't, it never works for me.
mm,
The real shift isn't a no-code platform. It's agents. Agent-centric design flips the model entirely. Instead of you building the app builds itself around you. You describe the outcome, and the agent stitches together the logic, the interface, even the data flows on the fly. It's the software that doesn't just run tasks, it represents you, learns your preferences, adapts in real time. If app-centric was about creating a single product to serve millions, agent-centric is about creating millions of micro products to serve one. And that's you. And that's where we're going. But let's get really practical. What can you do right now? I want to talk about artifacts that you can create within your standard chatbot. Your Claudes, your Geminis, and now your ChatGPTs. With a bit of convincing, it still takes a while to get to an artifact. You can prompt an idea and have an experience that has genuine use and play with it inside the app. Now, we spoke previously about my perennial benchmark, the gorilla versus 100 men simulation. ChatGPT gets there eventually with some more eye-pleasing results.
I love how it's top them. That's amazing. And they change color. Okay, they die. Wow, that's amazing.
You can one-shot it with Claude. Gemini will give you an intense piece of prose in a turn-by-turn recount of what has occurred before it actually builds the app. It's kind of like a real-time strategy game of how the gorilla will die. On the creative front, I'm a big fan of songs that sample other songs and sound effects, and I'm sure I can pay $1.99 for something on the App Store, but I can also build this in ChatGPT, and I did. So in one chat, I was having a conversation with ChatGPT who the best vocal chops were, which is the sampling kind of effect that I really like. It gave me a few examples and it said, hey, I'd love to give this a shot. So it actually built me an app that I could deploy, including the ability to upload videos and sounds from my camera roll. I just want to play that out again. So there was a conversation about a music preference to, hey, do you want to give it a shot and build your own? My learning went from case studies to how it's made to what makes it good to be able to create my own experience. Just think about that from a classroom experience there.
The building, the understanding, the literacy that you gain for it. I honestly, I'm gonna call this out. This is exactly what people should be doing. Even if you've never coded in your life, just talk to the machine, tell it what you want, and see how easy it is. These things are agentic. What questions have I forgotten to ask? Oh, by the way, you should have. And now you can dig into these things. Oh, this is the error message that I'm getting. Here's a screenshot. What do I do? Oh, try this and this and this. It's incredible what you can pull out with these things. And it's fun. It's fun. Learning should be fun.
It is, and because it's disposable, it's there's no stakes. I'm not burning resources here. Now, the smallest of caveats here, it takes an awful lot of convincing for ChatGPT to give me an artifact. It really wants you to do the right thing and deploy on a web browser. So I do find myself bouncing between ChatGPT for context and actually deploying inside Claude's artifacts, as the artifact experience there is just a lot better. Speaking of Claude, it also allows you to deploy artifacts with AI built in. If you want to build an artifact that has like an LLM feel, you can. Crisis simulators are my new favorite thing to do here. I've been playing with one where it puts you in the role of a CEO when your company's just been hacked. You need to direct your legal team, your comms team, your tech support and customer service wings on how to act to ensure your company can steer through it. Now, the prompt is huge because as much as I want this to be dynamic, I also want the simulation to play out with key milestones, with the legal team being risk adverse. So even when I ask my comms team to just post cat memes saying, sorry, you got hacked, they actually say, no, that's not appropriate. Provide other examples. I hope any teacher who is listening, hell, anyone who is listening who wants to use this to game out a scenario, test for an interview or whatever, has their ears pricked up right now, because this is a template you can apply to absolutely anything. For sure, I like to do it in Claude as you get this kind of nice interface that's kind of built out. But you can run this exact same scenario in just a regular chat interface with any chatbot.
I just want to call this out. This lends itself beautifully to problem-based learning, right? Like, I mean, in terms of just about anything that you can think of, this is a wonderful application.
Think about your week right now. That repetitive report you file, that scheduling dance you do, that clunky app you tolerate. Imagine telling a personalized app experience what you need once, and by tomorrow, it's a disposable app that works for you for this incredibly discrete purpose. This was the promise of custom GPTs, and it's here now across all the AI tools. And I was looking back, I've got a small army of these that make me kind of possible, all the things that I'm doing. It's probably going to take a while for us to get our head around disposable software as a concept for humans. The resource burden for spinning up digital experience has always been unapproachable. But I was thinking about, what does a birthday scavenger hunt look like now? I can give it 5 clues, the place I want them to visit, get them to take a photo at each, and collate that into a lovely montage at the end. I can code that app up in about an hour, give it to someone special, and have a momentum at the end that we can look back at. There's a growing love of handmade or tangible, of tactical things, which is a bit of another step in the AI resistance that we've heard around the traps. And I like this as a bit of a counter move to that. So here we are. Software used to be something you bought, installed, lived with for years, flaws and all. Now it's something you can create in an afternoon, use once, and toss aside. That shift from permanent to disposable, from app-centric to agent-centric, it's not just a gimmick, it's the beginning of a new relationship with technology, which sounds nice, but aren't you excited about this? Software should bend to us instead of the other way around. And that leaves a big question hanging. If we can spin up apps as easily as writing a sentence, what happens to the SaaS giants who built their empires on subscriptions and logins? That's the tension I want you to sit with.
I think a really encouraging thing about this, because as you say, Adobe is Adobe because, they built empires and moats.
Because disposable software isn't just about play or novelty, it's about power, control, and what happens when anyone can generate their own digital tools on demand. So maybe start asking yourself, if you could spin up an app tomorrow, an experience tomorrow, some disposable software that you would only ever use, what would it be? And would you keep it to yourself, or would you share it around? Is it the next big product? Well, listeners, thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, please leave us a review, share around with your network, and most of all, hit subscribe on whatever platform you are at. For those watching on YouTube, we are on all your podcast platforms. And for those who would love to see our faces, you can find us on YouTube too. We'd love to tell you what's in next week's episode, but it's a world that moves way too fast. Until then, stay curious, stay intelligent, and stay the human in the loop.